that are going to be there with you on the whole journey.
Yeah, and from an initial inquiry, we're quite agile. We pick the phone up to people and have a chat with them over the telephone. If they do want to take it to the next stage, having had a taste of us and our business, then, as I said, we do insist that we meet up face to face. And we're quite open with people. We say to them, if you think that Mark and myself are a couple of numpties, then please don't invest in our franchise. A lot of issues happen in franchising, and there's a breakdown of relationship between the franchisee and the franchisor. So always, if you're looking to join a franchise, seek to meet the business owners. See if you can enter into a relationship and hand over your hard-earned money to this sort of franchise, whatever it be, whether it be oven cleaning or any one of the sort of the high number of franchises that there are out there now. But it is down to, in our world, and maybe we're a bit old-fashioned, we like to meet people and see if we can get on with people, and hopefully they do the same with us.
Sure. So, John, I have to ask, has anyone ever called you a numpty?
Has anyone ever called me a numpty? I couldn't possibly say this on the podcast, but I'm sure they have, and probably certain stronger things when I was on the football field in the football playing days.
So, John, let's talk a little bit about how the web helps your franchisees promote their individual franchise, wherever they may be in the country.
Yeah, very, very, very important. Probably even more so important for our franchisees now than it is for us looking for new franchises. We find more and more people are now looking for their home services, if I can call it that, whether it be sort of window cleaning, domestic cleaning, gardening, via the internet. And we support our guys with a website that we sort of ensure gets on the front page of Google through some careful search engine optimization, with a strong website that ranks very well on sort of what we call natural searches. We also pay for sort of Google AdWords campaigns, which again has a matrix that is designed for oven cleaning as opposed to anything else, and it is a very cost-effective way of generating business. So as part of the marketing mix, as I describe it with our franchisees, you need a strong online and strong offline presence, and then to understand what works in your business in your particular area. And from honing it down from 20 plus business development ideas, eventually you'll probably run with about 6 or 7 that work for you in your area.
Sure, and it's all about the testing, I guess.
It's all about the testing. It's all about sort of trying this in your area, understanding from people when they book in with you, how did they find out about you? Yes, there's, as there is with looking for franchises, there's a lot of noise out there. So, they might have seen you in a press release. They might have seen you stood outside a retail store. They might have seen you on the internet. But you find people make buying decisions having seen you and your brand, at least 2 or 3 times, whether that be online or offline.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, John. I think we live in a world where there is so much noise that we have to promote to people several times before we even get a chance of remaining in their memory.
Yeah.
There's so much out there, isn't there, for everything. And every bit of news breaks within a second. And alongside that news, there is more promotion. So it's all finding your space, as you say, testing, finding what works for you, and making sure it's consistent and regular.
And it's making sure you get a good return on your investment. Sort of, whether that be advertising in a local magazine or running a Google AdWords campaign, or having a page on our national website. You've got to understand in any business, and ours is equally so, that you're getting sufficient enquiries and sufficient business from the amount that you're spending on your marketing or business development.
Absolutely. The most important part, John, the ROI.
Correct, yes. Make sure it washes its face.
So, John, what tips would you give to someone thinking of buying a franchise?
Yeah, and no matter what size the investment in terms of the pound notes, it is a very key, important decision in most people's lives. So do thoroughly carry out your research and carry out your own due diligence. So at the end of the day, you can make a decision that you're comfortable with. That would probably be my key sort of point. And along the way, in that sort of finding out about the company, make sure you see the business owners, the directors, on a face-to-face basis, so you can sort of assess their, suitableness, for, if there was such a word, for you to then invest your hard-earned money in their franchise.
Absolutely. So even though we can apply all these different forms of logical choice, that word you use there, comfortable, is so important, isn't it? We have to feel right about it as much as see the business case.
It is, and whether that's a decision to join that particular franchise or whether it's a decision not to join that particular franchise. And again, people, a lot of people do decide to join us, but there are certain people who decide not to for whatever reason. And that's a good time to respect each other's decision, move off in your own directions, and wish, the potential franchisee every success in whatever they choose to do next. Because who knows what can happen in the world, and you never know whether that person may decide at some stage in the future to come back and look at your business again.
Absolutely. Or they might even just need their oven cleaning.
Exactly, yes.
So what tips would you give to someone who's starting a new business that they hope to franchise later on?
Yeah, it's a bit like sort of the example I gave you earlier of Mark Abbott, my business partner. With the title of the sort of the business there, Cotswold Oven Cleaning. We moved to a more generic title of Oven Wizards. But things I'd say to people is, first of all, prove the concept, do pilot it in an area, and show that, and understand that this business can work. Keep good records, to evidence to any prospective investor how the business can work. And I guess get your story out there, online and offline, in terms of what it is you've done, what it is you've achieved, what it is now that you're trying to sort of share with other people, and help people to enhance their own lives, whether that be from a sort of financial remuneration, work-life balance, whatever it may be. But be prepared to talk about your story, not just the numbers around it, maybe some of the softer issues around it as well.
Great points. So there, you're very much showing how your franchise business is not just about helping people earn a living, but building a life that they prefer as well. And the two go together.
Very much so, hand in hand. And, it's for us as the franchisor to understand from a new sort of franchisee investing in our franchise, what are their aspirations? And what their aspirations may be on day one could well change as they sort of, as their business evolves and develops. We've had people join us who just wanted to be one person in a van, but very soon realised that this is scalable. And have decided to expand the business. And we have a chap up in Aberdeen now who's been with us just over 3 years, who presently has 5 vans on the road.
Wow. Lots of ovens need cleaning in Aberdeen.
They do, yes, as they do all over the country. There's, at least 26 million households in the country, and they've all got at least one oven. So in terms of potential in the sector, we're just scratching the surface at present.
Well, it sounds like there's a long way to go for everyone.
There is.
So where do you believe the franchise industry will go now that the digital age is firmly with us?
Yes, I think franchisers that embrace the digital age and to sort of the online sort of business promotion will succeed. And there is a certain element of the nature of the franchise and how much they want to or need to embrace sort of the web and online sort of promotions. But even a domestic sort of home services business as our own, which involves a lot of manual work in the physicality of actually cleaning the oven, does require a presence on the internet.
Absolutely. And what's next for Oven Wizards?
Next for Oven Wizards, well, we plan to continue our steady growth, which we've achieved over our first 6 years of owning the business, whilst also ensuring that our existing franchisees, our existing wizards, get the support that they require to sort of enhance and develop their own businesses. And I guess that's been reflected recently as we've continued to grow this year, recruiting at least one new franchisee per month, whilst also seeing that everybody that was due to renew their existing contract this year has indeed renewed for an increased term, a further term. And indeed, we've got at least two franchisees who've renewed the contracts for a third term with us. We want to build a steady business that's built on a firm foundation with highly satisfied franchisees. And if we can do that, we believe we get great job satisfaction from it. And also, as in any business, a decent return for ourselves.
Great values, John. A great business is not just about great profit, is it? It's also about getting great feelings from it and supporting everyone that helps you on that journey. So those are great values to have, and it sounds like it's all going so well.
Well, we think so, and long may it continue.
Would you ever consider taking Oven Wizards abroad?
We would, indeed. We do get inquiries from people, maybe more so in near Europe than sort of anything further afield. But of course, when I go on my holidays to various parts of Europe, I see there being an expat community in places. I see, a large holiday industry, a thriving holiday industry that's got plenty of ovens that also need cleaning over there. So, yes, I think we could be very close to launching our first Oven Wizard abroad. Having said all that, we do have a franchisee that joined us who has a very thriving, successful business on the Isle of Wight, which is across the water.
Absolutely. Very good. So you could be doing some even more glamorous trips in the future.
We could, and I'm always available, as I tell my business partner, if anybody needs to visit anybody overseas, I'm usually ready with a bag packed.
So, John, where can we find you online?
We can find Oven Wizards online at www.ovenwizards.com. And you can also speak to myself or Mark. You can get our details from the website. We're happy to have an initial chat with everybody over the telephone, just to outline what the investment opportunity is and provide a little bit more meat on the bones than the information that appears on our website. Great
stuff. And do you have any final message that you'd like to give everyone listening on the podcast?
Yeah, I guess if it's self-employment, I sort of spent more years than I care to mention in corporate world, and then decided probably about sort of 7 or 8 years ago to leave that world and seek out self-employment. I can't understand why I left it so long. I would never go back myself to the corporate world. I've learned so much along the way, whether it be from our online marketing, working with guys like yourself, Phil, or just meeting and helping people come into the world of self-employment. The job satisfaction that I receive from it is very high, and I certainly wouldn't go back. And I believe I've made one of the best decisions of my life.
Just go for it, Johnny. That's the big message there.
Just go for it.
Well, John, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We've learned a lot from you there.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to you, Phil, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Likewise. My name is Phil Byrne, and I'd like to thank you for listening today. If you have any questions on anything you have heard in today's podcast, feel free to email your queries to podcasts@positivesparks.co.uk. We are an online advertising team who strive to help you thrive online. Want to know where to start with pay-per-click for your business? Download our free online advertising pack at positivesparks.co.uk/pack. Until next time, goodbye.